All right, guys, so there was a little bit of confusion over the trigger pull of the Secure 68 with and without the hammer cocked on initial pierce of the CO2. So what we're going to do is, I've got one fresh CO2 cartridge in here. We're going to put in an empty magazine, all right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use our gauge and we're going to test trigger pull without the hammer and then with the hammer pulled on a fresh cartridge, all right? So let's check this out. So right now, as you guys can see, we're in a clear direction over here. We're going to put the gauge on and we're going to pull back. All right, initial pull, 8 pounds, 12 ounces. That's without the hammer cocked, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire out all of the CO2. So it's much louder here than it is there. All right, fire out all the CO2. There we go. By the way, that's the release mechanism. So when it gets low, you can push and then you can hold that down. All right, I'm gonna load in a fresh CO2 cartridge and we'll be right back with you. All right, now, fresh CO2 cartridge. We got our gauge at 0. We're going to pull the hammer back, or the trigger just a tiny bit to get a hold of the hammer here, and we're gonna cock this hammer back, okay? CO2 is still not punctured. Hammer is now back, all right? Here we go. Zeroed out. Putting this on the trigger. Here we go, and pulling. 4 pounds. I mean, this is my point. You save a lot of pressure by pre-cocking this hammer and having it back. And it also makes the first pull a lot smoother. The pull distance is the same. So the trigger is still puncturing the CO2. But I think what's making this lighter is you're not engaging both the hammer and puncturing the CO2 at the same time with that hammer cocked back, if that makes sense. So, all right. This is just showing you guys another cool function. I'm telling you that hammer is one of my favorites by far they've ever put on. Super light trigger pull, and it gives you the ability to degas it back here on the back. So very, very, very cool. I hope that answers the questions, guys. We're going to move forward with yet another test here shortly. Have a good one.